Oh, what is up, you guys? My name is Version 1 and welcome back to Reaction Time, installment 42. We're moving right along with the month of February. This is actually another video I just randomly found because I didn't notice any suggestions, so I figured I'd go ahead and just take initiative and find some more stuff to react to myself. And this is actually back from WhatCulture Gaming, a deal we reacted to a while back in the past. This is 10 hidden video game enemies you weren't supposed to see. And this grabbed me because the main thumbnail said, like, you know, only kills cheaters or something like that. So it looked really interesting. So I actually had to reload the damn video. So it's going to be a little bit. So as soon as it loads in, we'll see each other. So without further ado, here we go.
Exploring every nook and cranny of a new game can lead to a whole bunch of incredible surprises, and sometimes this includes hidden enemies that 99% of players will simply never encounter. So to celebrate those today, I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are 9 hidden video game enemies you weren't supposed to see. Number 9. Karnak, Amnesia: The Dark Descent. This enemy in seminal horror game Amnesia: The Dark Descent is literally an invisible monster. Showing up in the waterway levels, this beast is only identified by the splashes that it makes in the water, with the player being forced to use these visual and audio cues to avoid it at all costs. The whole point of Amnesia is just what's lurking out of sight, with the game even punishing you for staring too intently at any one of the monsters. So an invisible enemy like this is perfect, and proved to be one of the scariest things in the whole game. Of course, the mystery of the creature only led to fans eager to know what it would look like if it could be seen by the human eye. I mean, it clearly has a defined mass, so it must have some kind of shape and appearance, right? Well, concept art actually revealed what the Karnak would have looked like, and essentially it's a big creepy monster dolphin, and that's pretty cool where I come from. Number 8, the Cow King, Diablo 2. The first but not last bovine-related enemy on this list, the Cow King has come to occupy a soft spot in the hearts of many video game fans in the decade since Diablo 2 launched. A secret boss inside a secret level. In order to find the Cow King, you first have to find the secret cow level inside the RPG. This hidden environment does pretty much exactly what it says on the tin. It transports players to a big field full of demonic cows, eager to rip and tear their flesh. Known as hell bovines, these not so cuddly creatures will mess your day up plenty, and the king of these can be found as you venture further into the level. Now, the Cow King might be the most well-known hidden enemy on this list today, but back when Diablo 2 first dropped, his existence was a complete surprise to the players who stumbled across him. Number 7, the Smoke Monster, Just Cause 2. Remember Lost? Remember when that was like the biggest pop culture thing around? Well, if you're a video game fan, then you absolutely will, because even if you didn't watch the show, you were inundated with references to it in all the biggest releases from the late 2000s. Hey. Just Cause 2 then is just one of many big budget games from that era, which boasts a reference to the smash hit TV show. And in this case, it's specifically the series' Smoke Monster that made viewers so intrigued across the earlier seasons. The reference to that creature here, though, is kind of rudimentary, to be kind. In fact, it's almost like the developers just slapped it together in 5 minutes and then forgot all about it. See, at a certain point on the map, you'll find a random enemy that's followed by a billowing trail of smoke who can't be killed with conventional weapons but can be grappled to death. Upon finding him, this dude will just follow you around, with him, his smoke machine, and his cheap Halloween costume haunting you wherever you go. Number 6, the Lord of the Pies, Dragon Age Inquisition. When it came to the Lord of the Pies Easter egg in Dragon Age Inquisition, though, the developers couldn't believe that players had stumbled across it in a mere 2 days. This mysterious pie in a top hat was hidden under the Skyhold environment by designers just as a joke, something which was unintentionally discovered by fans who accidentally glitched out under the map. Sporting a top hat, this giant pie lurks just out of the reach of players. But it begs the question, what's his game? Does he mean us harm? Where did he get such a sick custom-made top hat? We had a lot of questions after seeing these stills. And while this large beast was never supposed to be seen, the developers responsible did say that other smaller variants were similarly hidden around Skyhold, which is only for the best, really. I mean, it would be a little bit depressing to be Lord of the Pies if you were the only pie around. Number 5, the Bovine Defense Force, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. The whole premise of The Witcher 3 is that you play as a character whose job it is to literally hunt down evil creatures from every corner of the earth. However, one job Monster Hunter Geralt can't take on through regular means is that of the Bovine Defense Force, the name given to a gnarly high-level hidden enemy in the sequel. In order to fight this dangerous, horny chort, you have to be a little bit of a cheeky chappy. See, all RPGs struggle with players finding exploits to get quick access to immense resources, and The Witcher 3 was no different. In fact, in one of the starting areas, White Orchard, savvy fans realized they could go about killing the cows to make some money off their corpses, and then immediately just do it all again when they respawn. As such, this hidden enemy was only included in a patch to deter players from indulging in this exploit. Should you try it, this big guy will spawn and teach you a lesson for cheating. Number 4, the Altered Vending Machines Control. Control's oldest house setting lends itself perfectly to enemies that are hidden in plain sight. After all, this is an environment where nothing makes sense, where enemies are just as likely to be refrigerators as they are demonic corpses. Anything can be possessed by the villainous hiss, and inanimate objects can twist the very fabric of space and time. This inventive idea thankfully carried through to the game's AWE DLC, which included a genius secret enemy, that being possessed vending machines. These things aren't explicitly marked by the game itself, however finding and killing them rewards players with a good chunk of resources. Not every vending machine is an enemy though, so you're going to have to take a chance on shooting each and every one that you come across just in case. Hilariously, the only indication that they're in the game, apart from some trophies, is a bit of flavor text about them that you can find in a document, leaving it up to the player to put 2 and 2 together. Number 3, a whole bunch of Chalice dungeon monsters. Bloodborne's Chalice dungeons are a criminally underrated part of From Software's Lovecraftian masterpiece. Though they're optional challenge rooms players never have to interact with at all, these procedurally generated dungeons house some of the game's weirdest bosses and, of course, incredibly rare enemies that you'll never see if you simply blitz the main campaign. Due to the fact that every tile set is random, it means that players can spend hundreds of hours and never see specific enemies. And as such, there are a bunch of Chalice dungeon exclusives that players might not even know exist. The rarest of all though is the Labyrinth Mole, a grotesque little freak that wasn't discovered until 2 years after the game hit consoles. And considering how vile this thing is, it was probably best left undiscovered for so long. Apart from this though, there's so much more to find in these challenge rooms, including variations on regular bosses now spawning as normal enemies, so dive in if you dare. Number 2, the Goombas Dying Light. You might think that the last place you'd see a Goomba, you know, those little enemies that Mario so often likes to jump on the heads of, is in a mature zombie game, but buddy, you would be a fool if you thought this. That's because the superb zombie open world game Dying Light features a brilliant Easter egg that actually transports you into a grimy apocalyptic version of a classic Mario level. It's not easy to find though, and involves players jumping down a random chimney in a corner of the map. Doing so transports the players to this Mario-style platforming level where they have to make it to the other end without either missing a jump or being hit by the zombies balancing precariously on the blocky environment. Of course, it wouldn't be a zombie Mario level without zombie Goombas to launch off of, and fortunately the level delivers these in droves. Still, this probably isn't the weirdest gaming crossover I've ever seen though, but we might get to that in another list. Number 1, Lisa PT. I know, it's become a bit of a staple of WhatCulture Gaming at this point to talk about this subject, but it wouldn't be right to talk about hidden video game enemies you weren't supposed to see without mentioning Lisa, the creepy ghost from PT. Now, obviously, Lisa isn't exactly a hidden enemy in the teaser for the tragically cancelled Silent Hills. I mean, she's the only enemy in the game, and someone you see staring at you from multiple angles as you try to solve the puzzles of the game's looping hallway. What you weren't supposed to see, however, is that even when Lisa isn't visible on screen, she is still there in the scene. In fact, she's always lurking just over your shoulder, more or less attached to your back. That's why you can sometimes hear her breathing down your neck, because she quite literally is. Players only found this super creepy fact out thanks to a fan who broke out of bounds in the game and saw the hallway from a slightly different perspective, discovering something that we were probably better off not knowing. So that's our list. Want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Did you ever find these hidden enemies, and are there any cool ones I missed off here? Well,
I heard about the Goomba one in Dying Light, but I gave up on it because I could never find it. But I did find the Buffalo Bill reference. It puts the lotion in the basket. or else it gets the hose again by finding a basket with lotion in it and like next to a hose. I thought that was funny as hell. I took a screenshot of it on my PlayStation. But other than that, none of those I found. I mean, I've never played Bloodborne. I'm kind of thinking about it. I've heard mixed things about Bloodborne. I hear it's really good, and some people don't like it as much. I don't know. I'm really into Dark Souls, so I might actually probably enjoy it. I don't know, but maybe one day I might give it a shot. But that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other ideas for stuff you guys want to see me react to, feel free to put it in the comments down below. If I don't get to it this month, I will get to it in the months to come. So, all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Hey, and peace. What's up?